Okay, picture this. You've got a top-tier CBS primetime show, Matlock. Big star, Kathy Bates. Critically acclaimed, season 2 rolling along smoothly. Everything seems, well, perfect. And then, bam, out of nowhere, the whole production just slams on the brakes like a real shockwave hitting the studio. A series regular, David Del Rio, he's 38, is fired. Instantly.
Yeah, instantly.
Yeah.
And it's following a serious allegation, sexual assault, from his co-star Leah Lewis, who's 28.
Right. And this wasn't some drawn-out PR mess. This is like, boom, done. An immediate, decisive move from the industry.
Welcome, everyone, to this deep dive. And, what we're looking at here, it's really more than just Hollywood drama. It feels like a line in the sand.
Exactly.
It's a case study, really, in how things work now, post #MeToo, how a studio prioritizes immediate, very visible action over pretty much everything else.
Even over creative continuity or the money involved.
Absolutely, over all of it.
So our mission today is to really get granular on the timeline of this firing because honestly, the speed is hard to believe. Then we need to look at the PR battle that just erupted on social media.
Oh, yeah. That kicked off fast.
And crucially, the huge creative cost. Like, how do you even rewrite a major show right in the middle of production? Let's unpack this new playbook for crisis management.
Okay, so the defining thing here, the absolute core of it, is just how incredibly fast CBS Studios moved. We're calling it the single-day termination.
Single day.
And that speed, like you said, it tells you everything about the new rules of the game in Hollywood.
Okay, let's lay out the facts from what we know.
Yeah.
The alleged incident itself, September 26th, 2025. But nothing happened immediately. It took 6 days.
Right, 6 days until October 2nd. That's the key date.
That's when the formal report went through the official production channels.
Exactly. And, think back just a few years ago, even major controversies like, say, House of Cards departures, that kind of complaint, it would start slow burn.
Oh, totally. Lawyers get involved. HR maybe opens a file, weeks, months of silence while everyone figures out liability.
Precisely. The actor might go on hiatus. Maybe they finish filming their scenes, and the public is just left guessing.
But not here. This is the wild part. On October 2nd, the same day the complaint was filed, CBS Studios didn't just start an investigation, they launched it, did it, and finished it.
All on October 2nd. It's like a corporate land speed record for this kind of thing.
It has to be strategic, though, right? It can't just be panic.
Oh, 100% strategic.
Yeah.
The outcome was crystal clear. Immediate termination of his contract. And importantly, it was handled with, let's say, visible finality.
What do you mean visible?
Well, Del Rio wasn't just told, don't come back tomorrow. He was physically escorted off the Paramount studio lot.
Well, wait. Okay, I have to jump in here because this is where it goes beyond just HR. Sources confirm that Matlock's own executive producer, Eric Christian Olsen, was actually one of the people who walked him out.
That's right.
Isn't that kind of extreme? Like, doesn't the EP have a show to run? Seems like a huge distraction, maybe even a sign they were panicking.
It's a fair question.
Yeah.
And yes, it's definitely a distraction, but I think it's a calculated distraction.
Calculated how?
Well, think about the signal it sends. When it's the head creative person involved in the removal, not just, say, studio security.
Right, not just the guards.
It sends a message, both inside the studio and out. It says, we, the leadership of this show, we stand with the accuser. We don't tolerate this.
So it's not just you're fired, it's more like your presence here right now is toxic to our set, to our brand.
Exactly. They're cutting off legal risk and protecting the show's reputation in one very public, very swift action. They know a long, drawn-out fight can mean lawsuits from Lewis or just endless bad press tarnishing Matlock.
And the official line is just confirm but don't elaborate.
Yep, that's the final piece. Show decisive action, but control the narrative details. Keep the liability contained. It's the zero-tolerance playbook.
Yep.
Act fast, because waiting is riskier and ultimately more expensive.
Wow. The speed just dictates everything that follows. Okay, so the studio handled the physical removal, the corporate statement, all in hours, but then the individuals involved took the fight online.
Right. The studio went quiet, strategically quiet, and that's when the personal stuff tends to explode on social media, which brings us straight to the battle for the narrative.
Okay, this part is really defined by two completely different approaches. We're calling it measured strength versus aggressive retraction. The news of the firing breaks on October 9th, and boom, it's instantly a fight over who controls the story.
Let's look at Leah Lewis first. Just hours after the news hit, she posts on her Instagram stories. It's very concise. There's a photo with her mom.
Right. And she never actually names Del Rio, does she? Or goes into the specifics of what happened.
Nope. Very disciplined. Her message is all about love and strength, about moving forward, gratitude. She even specifically says, keyword, strength. Please let that be the takeaway.
That sounds like classic crisis communication, really well handled. Positioning herself as professional, resilient, ready to get back to work.
Exactly. She protects her legal position by not giving details, but she absolutely holds the moral high ground publicly.
Okay, now, contrast that with the response from David Del Rio's wife, Catherine Del Rio. She went the complete opposite direction.
Oh, yeah. Aggressive is the word. And very brief because the posts were deleted incredibly quickly.
So guess someone, maybe lawyers or PR, jumped in fast.
Almost certainly. Her first move was posting a zoomed-in photo of Leah Lewis on her Instagram story. The caption, "This is the most disturbing human being I have ever met."
Wow, that's direct. A straight-up attack on the accuser, trying to just tear down her credibility right out of the gate.
And she wasn't done. She then posted again, this time explicitly mocking Leah Lewis's earlier post about strength.
What did she say?
She posted a picture with her own mother and wrote something like, "They were the ones moving forward in love and strength after what Leah did to our family."
Oof. Trying to flip the script and paint her family as the victims of Lewis. That must have blown up online.
It did, instantly. But the fact it got deleted so fast tells you everything. That kind of attack is a massive legal and PR mistake.
Right. The second you attack the accuser like that, you're basically guaranteeing a legal fight, and you usually lose public sympathy right away.
And the speed of that deletion, probably within hours, shows the Del Rio camp immediately shifted to damage control. For anyone listening, the takeaway here is how fast PR have to react on social media now. An aggressive move like that causes instant damage, so the cleanup has to be just as fast.
It's also fascinating who isn't talking. David Del Rio himself, radio silence.
All the silence.
And the rest of the cast. Kathy Bates, Sky P. Marshall, Jason Ritter. Nothing. No supportive tweets, no vague statements. Just quiet.
That smells like a very strict studio directive. Stay out of it, focus on the work, don't add fuel to the fire. They're locking down everything to prevent more risk or distraction.
Absolutely controlling the variables.
Yeah.
Okay. If you find these shifts in how Hollywood handles crises as fascinating as we do, make sure you hit subscribe. We cover these stories as they break. But speaking of variables, let's talk about the creative nightmare this caused.
Right. The studio made its move, fired him. Operationally, it was decisive. But now comes the creative fallout. And it's massive.
We're talking about the character Billy Martinez. He wasn't just some side character. He was a series regular, part of that core junior associate trifecta with Leah Lewis's character, Sarah.
And the showrunner, Jenny Snyder-Urman, she'd actually called their dynamic a friendship romance, said it was foundational for the younger cast's storyline. This isn't trimming a character. It's like narrative amputation.
The timing couldn't be worse either, could it? The firing happens right after the season 2 premiere airs.
Yeah, the very episode that sets up Billy's huge storyline for the entire season. He was just confirmed as the father of his ex-girlfriend Claudia's baby. He was committing to co-parenting. That was his arc.
So the writers map out this whole major plot line. They film maybe 10 episodes with it, front and center, and now it just has to evaporate.
Poof. Gone. And viewers are going to watch this story build for weeks, knowing he's about to disappear. It's a continuity disaster.
What were the options? Could they have recast?
Recasting was apparently rejected immediately. And honestly, that was the only realistic choice from a human perspective.
Why is that?
You just can't. You can't ask someone who made an accusation like this to then come back to set and act opposite someone playing the person they accused. It would completely undermine the whole zero-tolerance stance the studio took.
Right. That makes sense. So they have to write him out completely. But how? A series regular central plotline with a baby. You can't just pretend he never existed.
Well, they have one saving grace. A bit of luck, really. There was a pre-planned filming hiatus. A 6-week break starting mid-October running to late November.
Ah, okay, so that's their window.
That's their lifeline. The writer's room is basically locked down right now, completely overhauling scripts for the rest of the season. It's a huge, expensive scramble.
What do you think the biggest challenges are for them, practically speaking? Like that whole paternity storyline with Claudia.
Yeah.
What happens to that?
They're kind of forced into choosing between a couple of really unsatisfying TV tropes, aren't they? Option 1, sudden off-screen death.
Which feels really dark and abrupt for a show like Matlock.
Right. Option 2,
Yeah.
he suddenly moves away. The classic soap opera exit.
But even then, what about the baby? Does he just abandon his commitment? Does Claudia go with him? No matter what, the audience is going to feel that huge hole in the story.
And the cost. They might have to reshoot scenes from those 10 episodes, right? Or try to cleverly edit around him. Use ADR to dub lines. Well, definitely. Editing tricks, maybe some quick voiceover explaining his departure after the fact.
Yeah.
Billy decided to move to whatever. It's millions of dollars in creative rework, all stemming from that initial necessary firing.
It really shows the calculation, doesn't it? Protecting the set, the brand's integrity, that now outweighs keeping the story perfectly smooth. They chose the audience frustration over the legal and moral risk.
That's the fundamental shift. Creative coherence takes a backseat to immediate accountability.
So, summing this up, the David Del Rio firing from Matlock really sets a new precedent, doesn't it, for how major studios handle these crises?
Absolutely. It's immediate, it's visible, it's comprehensive. Accountability isn't just a goal anymore. It's like an operational requirement, no matter the cost.
And we saw how the fight for public perception happens instantly online. That contrast between Leah Lewis's disciplined message and the reactive, emotional outburst from Del Rio's wife that shaped things before lawyers really even got going.
Speed and discipline. They're non-negotiable now when a crisis like this hits. It's a stark lesson.
But every action has consequences. And this very necessary, very fast action, it creates this unavoidable creative problem. The writers are scrambling. The audience is going to experience this jarring break in the story.
Which leads us to the final thought, really, a question for you listening.
Mm-hmm.
Given this sudden, unavoidable disruption to the narrative, how long will that creative damage linger? Will it affect the long-term health of the Matlock brand?
Yeah, will viewers stick with it? Will they accept this sudden disappearance, or is this incident always going to cast a shadow over the show? Something to think about.
Definitely.
You've been listening to The Deep Dive, where we uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.